Good afternoon from Los Angeles. I'm Valerie Milano with the Hollywood Times, and I want to welcome our guest, and I'm going to have him introduce himself. Thank you so much.
Hello, I am Darren Weiss. I play Eli in Break. Thank you so much for having me, Valerie.
Thank you for being with us. And we're going to be talking about a film called Break, and what a great film. It has an earthly quality that is not found in feature films, in my opinion. It's a great story, an awesome cast, powerful locations, and some major cinematography. Um, I know that Will Wernick, a lot of these questions were for Will, because I know you guys were in LA doing a little press junket that I wasn't able to attend, the red carpet. So how did that go? Talk about that a little bit.
Oh, it was great. The premiere in LA was really a wonderful, great evening. The whole cast was there. We had a lot of friends of the actors from the industry that came. Emile Hirsch came, Brian Greenberg came, um, Holland Roden came, some other really cool people came. And it was a really great night. The film was really well perceived. Um, and I think people were impressed with it, and it just felt good to have everyone together. The whole cast hadn't been together since we finished filming, so to see
Oh,
everyone, and for a lot of the cast, it was their first time seeing the movie. So I think they were really impressed, and it was just overall, it was a great night. We had a Q&A after the screening, and then we did an after party, and
sweet.
it was full. The theater had 360 people in it, so it was really cool.
Wonderful. I hated to miss it. I hated to miss it because
Okay.
this story rings so very true. You know, the world of the pool hustler is not for the weak or faint of heart. And this story does an amazing job of portraying that world. So how did this story come to be the basis of this film, in your opinion?
You know, Originally, it was actually I came up with this idea over COVID about a story, and I really just wanted to have an opportunity to play a character um, that sort of like goes through it, and a character that a lot of people can relate to because people are dealing with things in their everyday lives, and like you have to sort of put it like at the back front because people have to go about their everyday lives. They have to worry about their family or work or whatever. And a lot of times, people don't really know what's going on behind closed doors. And I wanted to try to figure out a way to see sort of an arc and a struggle of this character, Eli, that I played, and like how could I incorporate a world where he gets help from a place that you would least expect it. And through the suggestion of my writers, we came up with a pool hall in the inner city of Detroit. And this pool hall, it's like I called it like a place of misfit toys. A lot of characters that come from different walks of life that I think a lot of people can relate to. There's some Everyone can relate to a different character in this film, and um for me, it was just about, this kid finding comfort in the most unexpected place to find comfort. And it wasn't until he came upon this pool hall that through these characters, that he learned that he could be who he is and he felt comfortable in his own skin, something that he's never really felt before.
Yeah, the trio of writers, Mr. Hadnot, Mandel, and Wernick, captured the world of pool hustling perfectly. Were any of them personally and intimately involved in pool hustling?
I think Will, who directed it, he grew up playing pool around a pool hall. I think he worked in a pool hall in college, he told me. So he spent a lot of time in a pool hall. I know his dad was really into pool, and Will really enjoys pool. So I think, he hit on some things from his own, history or experiences that really helped shape. He did such a great job. I mean, all the writers, and Will specifically directing, did such a great job in depicting that. But at the same time, like, yes, it's about pool, but really it's about a bigger story than pool, as you saw. And that's sort of, how he brought that together in such a beautiful way was really a fun thing to shoot and to bring to life.
Darren, you play Eli, as we know, and have a quality of realness about you, particularly in this story. And actual pocket billiards expert. Did you shoot with your own stick?
I did. So, it's funny. I grew up with a pool table in my house. I never really played, and like when I was with friends at like bars in college, we'd play a little bit, but it wasn't until I started prepping for this movie, the producers, John Iardi and Bo Youngblood, amazing producers at Showdown Productions who I could not, this movie wouldn't have been possible without them. They got me a professional pool coach and we trained, his name's Steve Sherman. We trained 3 hours a day, 3 days a week for 3 months. And he had brought, I didn't have a pool cue, but the first day he brought his pool cue and I sort of just started using it and I got really comfortable and it was really sentimental at the end when we started shooting. He's like, I'd like you to have this. And it meant a lot to me. So that was my pool cue and it still is. And that's what I used in the movie. Um, and yeah, that's sort of like how it happened.
And where do you come from?
I come from Detroit. I live in Los
Oh yeah,
Angeles.
you did say that. And how did they find you, or how did you find them? Maybe I should say.
Yeah, so I found after the script was written by the writers, I sort of took it out to some people I knew in the industry. I got really positive reviews from it. And Bo Youngblood, who was part of the producing team, originally came on as the line producer, and she read the script and she really enjoyed it. And that's sort of how it happened. She's like, listen, she's like, I'd love to, John and I as Showdown Productions would love to undertake this as the production company to do this. And it's a really interesting story that we haven't seen before. And that's sort of how it happened. And from there, they brought on Will Wernick, the director. We talked to a lot of different directors, and I felt like Will really saw the vision and he was willing to work overtime and do what needed to be done to get the actors, where they needed to be and where the script where it needed to be. And it was a total team effort from everyone around. It couldn't have been done top to bottom without, everyone that was involved.
I want to talk about the cast a little bit. The supporting cast is so perfect. Victor Rassick as Draper, the mentor, Jeff Kober as Jimmy, the quintessential pool hustler bad guy, and Patricia Belcher as Hattie, the owner of the Touch, are as important to the story as you. How was it working with them?
It was really great. I've been acting for like 7 or 8 years. So when you have people as decorated as a Victor Rasuk, who's been doing it for 25 years, and Jeff Kober, who's probably been doing it for 40 years, Patricia Belcher, who's been working for 40 years. There's a level of like comfort. Also, though, knowing I knew Victor beforehand and having that level of comfort with Victor on set where I knew, sometimes actors are weird. They don't want to hear like they don't want acting notes or everyone's got a different approach. And for me, I'll take tips from anyone to be better or like if someone has a good idea. And, Victor and I had a really good friendship before he came on. So I sort of told him like, listen, if you've been around so long and you know what you're doing, if you see anything or if you have any tips or ideas, like, please, like I'm all ears. And he was really great. We worked really well on screen together. Wendy Braun, who played my mom, I had done a movie with her about 6 or 7 years ago, a comedy, and she played total 180 from what she played in this movie. But I suggested her from the mom. She was just like perfect Midwest mom. So she's great. She's been working a long time. Caleb Emery, who played my best friend, was on Good Girls and Hunters, and then Braden Brunner, who played my love interest, Millie. This was really one of the first things she did, but she was so perfect for the role. Her audition tape, like we knew right then she was it, and we had really great chemistry, and she understood the role and the look and everything. So I think shout out to Jeff Gaffner, our casting director. He casted really just a perfect cast, a perfect ensemble cast that like fit like a glove. And I mean, you saw it, yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, the
Absolutely.
cast just sort of came together really nicely, and it was really fun on set. No one had any ego. Everyone was very engaging. Will, as a director, let the actors try some things that they wanted to do, after he got his takes, so it was a very inclusive cast and engaging, and everyone worked really well together, really good chemistry, and it couldn't have been a better cast.
It's great. Well, this film has a lot of heart, as we're talking about, but the ending, the return of your father, absolutely ripped my heart out. If that was what you all were going for, you succeeded with it being maudlin or cliche. Bravo. What do you
Thank
say?
you. What's
Right?
that?
What do you say about
Yeah.
that ending?
What do I say? You know what? Originally in the script, he wasn't going to come back. Um, we didn't have the father coming back at the end, and
Ah,
throughout the movie, you don't really understand like what happened with the father. And I think like as you see like Eli go through this, becoming who he is and sort of tying the bow on it at the end, like with the dad. Um, yeah, a lot of people got choked up at the premiere with that. And yeah, it was Will's idea to bring him in. And at first I was like hesitant because like not all stories, as you know, end happily. And by no means, we're giving away the story here, but by no means does the dad coming back into the picture mean it's a happy ending. There's so many question marks that were left. And, maybe that sends Eli back down towards the spiral where he started in the movie. Who knows, but like I think it's just it's sort of like foreshadows or sort of like is symbolic to like second chances and opportunities and Detroit and Midwest and just like people change, people can change and everyone deserves to be judged on who they are now, not who they were
yeah.
at a different
Good
time in
point.
life.
So we're getting down to the last question or two. The locations and cinematography were perfect as well. The film comes off is not totally polished like some major motion pictures, but gritty, just like Detroit and the pool hustler underworld of filming in the Motor City. And so much of the film was shot at night in tight quarters, cars, bars. How much of a challenge was it to shoot in those dark locations, such as the pool hall?
You know, we shot between LA and Detroit, and Akis, our DP, our cinematographer, is just so talented. He really captured everything in an essence. All the exteriors were in Detroit, and it's funny. We went to Detroit and we didn't really have permits to shoot anything. We just like went on the Detroit public bus and like no one questioned us. We shot there. We shot in an awesome junkyard, and then the pool hall was actually in LA. Um, so, you know, it was really cool because it's really hard to capture some of these moments and in the pool, to see that there's two different worlds that collide. You have the pool hall inside, and that's a different world where Eli feels most comfortable, and then it's like in the outside world where you think he would feel comfortable is where he doesn't feel comfortable at all. And I think Akis did a really great job of like showing that through the cinematography of like just like how I don't even know how he did it, but he
Yeah,
did it.
right.
And every place was really cool. I mean, the like I said, the diner was awesome. The scrapyard where Eli works is so cool. The exterior in Detroit's, were very interesting. Detroit's, some places we shot aren't the safest spots, and like we just did it, and we just wanted it to feel real, and there's only one way to do that.
So what's with the film now? Are y'all on more circuits or what's going on with the film?
Yeah, so it just ran theatrically for about 2 weeks, pretty much in the Midwest. It releases on Amazon and iTunes June 11th. It's open for pre-purchase now. And then from there, like if it does well on iTunes or Amazon, I think, like a Netflix will be interested in acquiring it. And honestly, I hope that people just go watch this film because I think there's a character in this film that uh, someone can relate to every character in this film. And it's so much more than just pool. It's like one of my friends who saw it, he described it as Good Will Hunting meets 8 Mile.
Good one.
And I really like that comparison. But there's so many, values and battles and things outside of the pool hall. The pool hall's sort of at the forefront, but it's like what's really going on, you know, in the background. And I think people are gonna really enjoy it, and I just hope people see it.
All right. Well, so can you let our audience and our viewers know the website or how they can find you, please?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. I'm Darren Weiss 8, and then it is available for pre-purchase now on iTunes and Amazon. It'll, it's gonna start showing June 11th. It was in theaters for 2 weeks, and message me on Instagram, leave a good review on Rotten Tomatoes or a bad one if you don't like it. I'd love to hear people's thoughts, and I just hope people see the film.
Wonderful. Well, we'll be doing our review in the next day or two, and we're the Hollywood Times dot today, also Hollywood Times .net, and our YouTube is the Hollywood Times Official. And I can't thank you enough for your time and the energy and the film. We're going to be promoting it, and hopefully we can meet in person sometime.
I look forward to that. We definitely will. And Valerie, thank you so much for taking the time. It was a real joy to be on with you.
Excellent, Darren. Thanks so much. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.